It's been a while since y'all heard me babbling, but I just had a conversation and it made me think about something. A little exercise I'm gonna give y'all at the end, but I'm gonna babble a little bit first. Mostly for the men, because men don't express themselves because they have to appear strong and alpha and all that, jazz. So, basically, we have like small fragments of memories of certain people more than others, especially when it comes to romantic relationships, because we're in a society that doesn't really allow us to emotionally mature as we should, so we're all at different levels with it, and some are completely detached, but that's like a whole nother story. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about right now is you have to, in order to stop repeating shit, you gotta just kind of allow that revisitation of that moment that, like, you have to just pop in your mind. It's your mind, like when I was with such and such, this and this happened, and you just remember that situation well. The reason you remember that situation is because it's like an unresolved issue, an unresolved lesson, a lesson that you kind of failed the final, the midterm, and every single quiz on. It was a misunderstanding, but understanding it is what leads you to make the right decision today, facing the same situation, because you're right, finally ready to finish that cycle. Anyway, all of that to say, that's why we have those moments when we think about certain people. Sometimes it's just a good memory. It is what it is. But when we have it and it strikes us heavily, especially when we enter a new relationship or a new business partnership or a new, financial decision, it don't matter what the fuck it is, it's new. And it feels new, but it feels strangely familiar. That's because, and you have that revisitation. It's not always just because that person is thinking about you, because you're thinking about them, and all that kind of shit. Sometimes it's because it's like, in this moment, this happened to you before, and you misunderstood every motherfucking thing about the situation, and you need to go back and reevaluate that now that you're older and understand what people are capable of, and just have some life in you. Would you make a different decision, and would you know what I mean? All of that shit. But all of that to say, there are people who have them mother wounds and father wounds and whatever fuck wound you want to call it, that they didn't resolve with someone. So they just, like, instead of letting it go, they hold that shit in and they just keep trying to repeat it with people who have that familiar energy, like they gonna fix that shit, and they stay in a bad situation way too long, or they just can't emotionally become available to the person they're with, and they keep having failed relationships. And it's like, why the fuck can't somebody just stay? This what you do. You're gonna close your eyes. You're gonna imagine yourself writing, right? This is the exercise, I promise. You're gonna imagine yourself writing. You're gonna see yourself writing. No matter right hand, left hand, however you write, in a very comfortable, serene setting, somewhere that will make you feel calm while you write, because you're just gonna flow. And then what's gonna happen is you're gonna write, but what you're writing, you're gonna be telling me, like, if we're talking, or whomever you trust, or even if you talk to the air. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna be saying it, and as you're saying it, the words you're saying, you'll see them appear on the paper. You'll keep writing it in your mind and saying what it is on your mind, and I'm gonna basically hear your words that are coming off that paper, but it'll be the same thing, because you'll have pages and pages and pages, and your ink will never run out until it's time for you to decide to finish, and that you've written everything you need to write. And then you're going to go back and you're going to read that to me again. Why? Because even though you think you were just speaking it and just writing it, you can see those words, so you can read that, you can see that memory of it, you can read that. Once you read it, you're going to process it. You don't even have to read it again, because you just said it all to me, and it's as this for the letter. And then once you're done with that, in the vision, you're going to toss it. You're going to toss it into the fire, and that's how you burn it. You just let it go. And let the fire take it away, let it turn ash to ash, and dust to dust, it's done. But you're going to do that in a vision, but you're going to speak it verbally. But as you speak it verbally, you're going to see yourself and vision yourself writing every single word. You're going to write the letters you need to write in that moment, to heal in that moment, to understand in that moment, to break down that moment, to make a different decision, to see where it was wrong the last time, so you can fix it going forward. Like I said, but whether it's business, money, I don't know, sex, casual shit, relationships, whatever fuck it is in your life, that's how you let it go, and communicate it a different way, or repeat that action a different way, or just basically do it a different way. Alright, that's all I got for you.